Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel. In this video we are going to change our propeller hub. We'll show you how to replace it and what you need to know before you do. So stay tuned for this important information. The prop hub is designed so that when you hit something hard on the bottom of the ocean, it will break the plastic hub and the prop shaft will continue to spin without damaging your outboard engine. So how do you know if you have a spun hub? The symptoms include high engine RPMs with little to no increase in boat speed, especially when accelerating to plane. So here's a list of the required tools and products that you need to complete this project. 1. A 2x4 wood block. You need that to hold the prop in place when you're screwing or unscrewing the nut. 2. The 1 1/16 socket with a torque wrench. And 3. 2,4C grease. You need to grease the spline on the shaft of the lower unit. And 4, you're going to need the screwdriver, flathead screwdriver, a pliers, a rubber mallet, and the hub kit particular to your engine. Alright, and here's are the parts that we're going to use. This is the flow torque hub assembly kit. It comes with everything you need for the specific engine. So this one is for the it's right here, Mercury 4-stroke from 40 to 225 horsepower, which is what we have, 1-inch prop, and 2019 or newer, which ours is a 23, so it's newer. And this is the updated hub kit, so we're going to go ahead and install that. We have marine grease here, the 2,4C, which is really good. We're going to put that on the spline of the propeller shaft. Make sure that next time we take off the propeller, it doesn't get stuck and it's not hard to take off. So this keeps it nice and clean and protected as well. So here we go. Okay, the nut we're going to use here that comes with the kit, it's 1 1 1/8. You see it right there? That's a huge socket there, but you got to make sure you have it, because normal socket sets don't have it unless you have a good socket set that has many sizes. But here we have our torque wrench as well, so we can torque it. I believe it's 55 foot-pounds, and we'll get that ready for the installation afterwards. So now we're ready to take off the prop. So we're going to go to the right, and we have the piece of wood there so we can hold it, and that came off pretty easy, so that's good.
Super easy.
Yeah, there's nothing like working on a rack here on the drive to do this kind of work. In the water is always a little bit more difficult, especially when the water is a little cold. You don't want to get in that water and that cold. All right, so that's out. Now we're ready to go to the next step. And we have this little thing there, so let's take off that little, that's the washer that's going to lock the bolt in place. And I don't like the way they left this one. It's a little bit outward. I like to have them snug against the nut, so that way that nut would not spin the opposite way and lose your prop in the middle of the ocean. All right, since our engine is not that old, so the service has been done in the past, and so it looks like it's nice and soft, easy to come out. So go ahead and put it out, Bubba, because I can't do it with one hand. Just no, the whole prop. Take the whole prop out. There you go. Perfect. And yeah, it has nice grease on there, so everything looks good. This is the thrust washer that we have to take off. This, and we'll replace that with the new kit. And we just inspect here to make sure there's no fishing line anywhere in there, which is a good thing because it's nice and beautifully clean. That looks really good. So what we're going to do is we're going to wipe this down so we can put new grease on there, and then we'll go to the next step. All right, so we're ready to take off the centerpiece there, but in my case, everything's so greased up in there that everything's loose, so everything just comes apart on its own. So the first thing you have to do is you take this piece right here, and what you do is you turn it a little bit until it catches, like right there. See, it's standing up a little bit, and then you get a hammer and you hit it, and then the bottom end, the inside piece, which is the plastic protection for the prop in the engine, it's inside there. But in my case, everything's so greased up that everything comes loose really easy. Go ahead and lift it up in there, and then you see it come out. is right there. And this is the piece that we need to take off, but it's a little greasy, so it's going to be difficult. See, the first time it came off on its own because it's all greased up in there, but this one, simple. If you have a problem that yours is stuck in place in there, you do what I said. You just get the hammer on the other side, spin this section here, the metal part, you take it out a little bit, spin it a little bit so these grooves will catch, and then you just hit this down and it pops out from the prop. That's all you have to do. But in this case here, I didn't have to do it. Everything's nice and loose and lubricated. Everything looks good. I'm looking at the plastic hub in here, and it looks like it's pretty, it doesn't look too bad at all. I mean, it's only just a few years old, but just to be safe, we change it every certain amount of time just to be sure. Propeller hubs generally do not have a strict set interval for replacement, but rather are replaced when they fail, commonly known as a spun hub. If the propeller hits a submerged object, the hub should be checked for damage. A simple test that you can do yourself is to mark with a Sharpie across the hub and the prop. If they do not line up after a run, the hub has spun. Okay, the only thing I'm doing here is just cleaning everything out, because this is the only time you will have to be able to clean everything out here. You do that on both sides. You won't have this opportunity until you take it apart again to do this, so we're just cleaning out the best we can in there. All right, so here we have the hub that we're changing. This is the one that slips into there, the back part, the nut, and the retainer, nut retainer. Next thing we have here, we have the same thing, so make sure we have the same exact thing, which is right there. That one, that one. This one is this one here. It may look a little different simply because this is a little more advanced one, a newer one than this one. This one's the old style. And here's the thrust washer. You can see how they look there. We have the nut. Okay, that looks good. And then the little retainer, the nut retainer. And even though you have the same exact thing, just make sure that you use all the new parts. And if you want to keep something like this as a spare, it's a good thing to do. So this part here, I don't think you'll need again. This part here you won't need again, but at least the nut and the retainer is a good thing to have. Even this little thrust thing is not bad to have. So I'm going to go ahead and replace them now into the prop, so stay tuned for that. All right, so you have two parts. We're going in here. This only goes in one way, so you're never going to make a mistake. This part with the little grooves go in first, and you turn it until it hits there. See, it's getting stuck right there. So that's what we're going to use this for. We're going to put it right on there and hit it with the hammer. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go hit it with a rubber mallet, and then this little groove right here, which is smaller, you're going to put it right over it and finish putting it in place. Perfect. All right, so now this part here we're going to put on the prop shaft, and make sure you put it the right way. The big part goes against the outdrive. The smaller part that goes into here like that is going to be facing you, so make sure you get it the right way. Small part to the prop, big part against the outdrive. All right, so we're going to put that next onto that, and then we're ready to put this other part here. All right, so now this part here is the next thing we're going to put, and it goes only one way. You just turn it until it slips in all the way, which we have it right there. Now we're ready to put it on the prop shaft. All right, after we're done putting the grease all the way around the splines there, what that's going to do is protect it, and at the same time, next time we need to service the prop and take it out, it's going to be easy, just like it was today. It's just easy to slip right off. We're ready to put this. Don't forget to put this on, and remember, the smaller side is going this way. The bigger side goes against this part here. So we're going to do this like this and put on there. All right, that's seated on there. We got grease in there. Now we're ready to put the prop on. Here we go with the prop. All right, perfect. All right, so perfect. Alright, as you look in there, everything is seated well, and back in here you can see that it's all in all the way, so we're ready to go. So it's nice and ready to go. Alright, now we're ready to put the nut on there. Okay, this is important. You have to have that on there. If you notice, it has little notches there, and you want to put the notch between these two little pieces here. So you want to put this like this. Like you see it right there, nice and flat. Now we're ready to put the nut on. Since this is the new version of the hub system, it has to be 100 torque pounds, and that's what we're going to do next. Right, since we have the new assembly, the new style, the old one you use 55 foot-pounds. This one's a newer one, so it says it right there, 100 foot-pound. And that's what we're going to torque the nut for, okay? 100 foot-pounds. We're going to dial in our torque wrench to 100, which is right on there. I don't know if you can see it, but right there, 100. So go ahead and turn it until you get close to that little mark right there. Yeah, I think we're, let me see. Yeah, we're right at the 100 mark. We tighten this up, and we're ready to do the bolt. Alright, so let's go ahead and tighten it up. Alright, so now we're ready to do the 100 foot-pound torque. So this is where we need a little bit of power. So we have the piece of wood there to hold the prop in place, and now we're ready to put the torque to 100 foot-pounds. We'll hear that little click. And 100 foot-pound, it's not going to be an easy thing. Let's see. You know what? I have a little bit of loss of energy because of my chemo side effects. So I'm going to try to do the 100 foot-pounds, or otherwise I'm going to have to let my son, the bull here, to get it done for me. So let's see. Here we go. Let's try. I want to try. I want to try. This is with chemo side effects. So let's see. There we go. Didn't need you. But anyway, here we go. Let's do one more time just to confirm. There we go. All right, 100 foot-pounds, and we're done. So the next thing, just take the piece of wood off. Everything looks good. Nice free spin. Everything looks good. All right, guys, it's that simple to do something like this yourself. It's one of the biggest things for me, because even though there's a lot of good mechanics out there, and I know some of them, they're really good people and they will do a perfect job, but I can't trust everyone, because I've seen it, I've done it, and it's just been a horrible nightmare for me. So that's why I do these little simple things ourselves, which you can do yourself as well. Save money, know what you did, and you know what you have in there, and you know it's done right the first time because you did it yourself. So that's what I recommend, and that's what I do all the time. All right, now this part here, we already gave it the 100 foot-pound torque, but you see the little tabs in there? They're not lining up on the flat surface of the nut. So what we're going to do is we're going to swing it back just slightly a little bit, so these little tabs on each side will be on the flat side of the nut. And that's the next thing we're going to do. So we're going to get the wrench and bring the nut just slightly back to make it line up. Okay, let me see if it's lining up. Let's take it off again, and just slightly a little bit more. slightly a little bit more. Okay, let's check that. And I think we're good. All right, we're good right now. Okay, next thing we're going to do is going to get a screwdriver and bring these tabs flush against the nut there. And what that does is when you put your boat in reverse, it spins the opposite direction. If those little tabs are not holding that nut, the nut will swing right out and it'll unscrew and you'll lose your prop in the middle of the ocean. It's going to cost you some good money and a hassle sitting out there waiting for someone to come and help you and tow you back in. So save all that and make sure you put those tabs against the nut there so it won't come off. So let's see if we can make this come up. Hit it a little bit there. There we go. Perfect. Okay, that's up a little bit. Let me get the other side. Perfect. This is a little tricky because it's the position in there is a little bit in there. But now let me see if I can get the pliers in and just close it up completely. Let's see if we can make it go in there. Well, this kind of pliers may not work. Let's see. Yeah, I won't have the spacing in there. No, yeah, maybe we do. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. All right, that looks good. All right. Now, if you look in there, you can see the tabs completely flat on the nut there, which is not the way we found it. When I found it, it was completely almost halfway open on both sides. You got to be sure that that is holding on there so that nut will not come loose ever again until next time you need to take it off. Otherwise we will have that vibration now. Alright guys, so we're done doing the prop hub change. And I gotta say, I mean, for real, when we left the dock there, usually we would get this vibration that would go on and off. And I've tried everything else. I've tried, you know, like fuel filters and stuff like that. But it didn't really need the fuel filter because that didn't change anything. But that kept on going with that vibration. And now, after the hub install, no more vibration. Here are the 3 issues that I found with this installation. 1, the lock nut that was on the prop shaft was too loose. It was definitely not 100 foot-pounds on there. It was really loose. It was easy to take off. The second problem was the retainer washer. The little wings on each side is supposed to hold the lock nut in place so when you put the boat in reverse, it won't unscrew and lose your prop in the middle of the ocean. In this case, those 2 wings were completely outward, like maybe 50% curved up. That is not good. And the last item of concern is the plastic hub. We found it to be too loose, so when we turned the prop over, it just slipped out on its own. And usually when you put these things in, you have to hammer it in place like we did here, and it stays in place and it does not come out. In our case, it just slipped out on its own, and that don't seem right either. I don't like pointing fingers, but these flaws can only come from 2 places. 1, the factory build. 2, the dealer who sold the boat serviced it. So it comes from one of the 2. 2 wrongs don't make one right. This is a great example of why I like to do these little things myself, because I could go down the list and make sure all these things get done right the first time. Saves you money, and you'll have no headaches in the future knowing that everything is done correctly. Stay tuned for our next video where we do our lower unit oil change. You guessed it right, we found another flaw. So stay tuned for that video coming soon. Okay guys, so we're done with the project, and I hope this video helps you do this hub change with no problems. Don't forget to like the video, and if you haven't subscribed, Please subscribe today. It'll help us grow little by little, and your support is greatly appreciated. Thank you so much for watching our video, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace from the Keys.